toward the end of practice sessions, but just offensively, where have you seen the most improvement, and maybe who has maybe stood out offensively?
Rob Henry has really stood out to me. I think he's one of the most improved players on our team, and that's good news when you're at the quarterback spot. He's really thrown the ball well throughout the course of spring. Today was probably not his best day of throwing, but he's thrown the ball very well. He's had a lot of big-time throws throughout the course of the spring. I think he has a great grasp of the offense, and he's really improved a lot. Our offensive line has really improved a lot. Nicky Mondick was a novice to his position. He's a lot more polished up, and it allows him to throw his body around, and he's a lot more, schooled up at his position. Allows him to be more aggressive, and you see his talent starting to show up more so now. I think Gabe Holmes has really improved a lot. He's a developmental player. He didn't play a whole lot of tight end on the line of scrimmage in high school, and that's new for him in some ways since he came to Purdue. And I think he's adjusted to that very well. I think he has really improved a lot. Reggie Pegram, he's a very physical runner, a very physical blocker. He's looked really good out here this spring. Ricky Smig has trimmed up and going a lot faster and a lot harder. I really like Akeem Shavers. I think he was a great get for us. I think he'll be a difference maker for us this season. He's fast and he finishes runs. I think we're more physical at running back. I think we've improved on the offensive line. I think our quarterback has gotten a lot better. I think Siller has improved a lot. I think Antavian Edison is running much more detailed routes, not making many missed assignments in his route running. I think a lot of guys have really improved. We met this morning, it's just on the offensive side, but we met this morning as a staff, and we have to pick some award winners for the spring. Most improved player on offense, and most improved player on defense and special teams and all that. And it's going to be really hard to do. A lot of guys have really improved a lot. It was exciting to come in and watch the film from the scrimmage the other day because it was an intense scrimmage and guys got after it and they played with a lot of energy, and we've made a lot of progress as a football team.
You mentioned Rob Henry at the beginning, and as you go into fall camp now, how, I guess, excited will you be to have that competition at the quarterback spot?
I'm just really excited to have a quarterback out here that has any kind of game experience at all. The difference maker this spring, we were able to start off faster the very first day. We were further along the first day of the spring than any in the last two, just based on having a guy that's played in the games at the quarterback spot. So I expect us to hit it running in the fall. There'll be some competition at that spot. This has been great for Turbush to get all the reps that he's gotten. Didn't get to play in the games last year, so he's behind some. Like a lot of guys that sit out, just like Stiller, he sat out a year. He was behind some, and then Turbush is behind some. And so in my mind, Henry is ahead of him, and then Marv hasn't been able to come out here and compete very much this spring. So getting him back in the fall will be important, so we can get some competition going at that spot. But Rob Henry's progress and his performance this spring is very encouraging to us. We have the firepower on offense, the linemen, the tight ends, the skill guys at the receiver spots, the running back spot, at the quarterback spot, to produce a lot of points if we take care of business. And that's encouraging.
What do you want to be able to accomplish over the next couple of practices before the spring game Saturday?
Well, I want to try to keep them healthy. And today is one of the last physical days we're going to have. We had the option to come out here in full pads and run into each other a lot on Wednesday without tackling, but we're going to cut it back some. We've got some guys nicked up that we'd like to get them healed up so they can play in the spring game. And whether or not we'll have enough guys to divide them up and have a game or have to go offense versus defense is just to be seen here the next couple of days, but we're going to try to back off a little bit on Wednesday, I hope, to try to get some guys healed up. So staying healthy is always important at the end of spring. And then to be able to come out here and execute the offense and the defense on a consistent basis. I see a lot of good execution, but we need more of it every down. So some consistency from an execution standpoint. I think we've played fast and we've hit hard, and guys have finished their runs and finished their tackles, and linemen have been getting after it across the line of scrimmage. I'm very pleased with how spring has gone. Want to get them healed up, polished up, and have some fun in the spring game.
In your last scrimmage, you had a lot of turnovers by the offense. First of all, did you do some scrimmage work today, and were some of those turnovers cleaned up from
They were
last week?
cleaned up, and some of it has to do with the center snaps. They weren't as exact in the scrimmage on Friday as we have been, and a lot of it has to do with him being technically sound, getting in and out of his stance. He has to get his feet in the right position on all of his blocks, and still be able to deliver the football with some precision. And he got a little bit sloppy, and that created some lack of ball security, the bad snaps, and it really affects timing and rhythm. I thought we were better with that today. Dry got nicked today a little bit. We got him out, and the other centers came in and did well. But I thought we did a better job securing the football today than we did in the scrimmage last Saturday. And we've done very well all spring, other than the scrimmage the other day wasn't what we wanted.
Just when would you make the decision on the format? Probably Friday?
Probably Wednesday. I'll come here and see what the doctors say. We'll get them out here and move them around and see how they're going. If we got enough guys, I want to be able to divide them up and have a game. If we don't, and then we'll line them and have a scrimmage. We've taken each position on our football team, whether it's offense, defense, or special teams, and given each one of those positions 2 or 3 things to try to really focus on here the last couple of practices. We only get a few more opportunities out here, and we don't want to stay the same. Status quo is not acceptable. So we've earmarked some areas for them to really focus on the tight ends, the receivers, the running backs, the linemen, the quarterbacks, the defensive linemen, the linebackers, the secondary. Each one of those positions have 2 or 3 key areas that we want to focus on in the next 2 or 3 practices, while we're still working on all the other stuff at the same time anyway. So very pleased with how it's gone, and we're ahead in some ways. And again, the 2 positions on our team that I think have to develop the most over the course of the summer will be the defensive end position and the tight end position, and that's where we're the youngest at right now.